Alrighty, welcome into the Gary Ayd Show here on the cavetalkradio.com, the Cave Talk Radio app. Great to have you aboard. Gary Ayd and Selma will be on Restream in just a moment, as long as Rich has all his gadgets turned off and on in the right places. It's been one of those mornings, but we are here and ready to roll. Good to have you aboard. So for today's opening rant, I want to start with Reggie Bush being inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. Now, I'm sorry if this is overly cynical, but I can't help but wonder, why is the best college football player in my lifetime, who hasn't played college football in 15 years or so, or about 15 years, why is he just now getting in the Hall of Fame? Just now, days, at most a week, after basically calling the NCAA out on its shit for taking his Heisman Trophy from 100 years ago? Or why is he just now getting in the Hall of Fame? Am I supposed to believe the timing of his outward criticism and the timing of this induction are somehow coincidental? Because guess what? I don't believe that. If I'm Reggie Bush and his family, I'm telling these people to stick it. The hell with them. This is so disingenuous. Like, why this? I know there's probably like a 5-year waiting period or something. Like, you have to be retired from football for a certain number of years. I don't actually know the specifics of the criterion, but I do know this: whatever those specifics are, unless they're far more insane than any other sport I've ever heard of in my life, the time period from which Bush has been out of the NFL and also gone from college football is plenty long enough to have had him in the Hall of Fame a long time ago, given what type of monumental historic figure he was in college. I mean, people have to understand, if you didn't watch him play in college, this guy was probably the most electrifying college football player any of us have ever seen if we're under about 70 years old. Unless you saw, like, someone like Gale Sayers or Marcus Allen, or unless you're about 70, if you're under that age, you never saw a more exciting college football player than Reggie Bush in your life.
Absolutely.
The guy was a beast, and I don't even like college football. There's a reason we never talk about it on this show, but there was something about him that just grabbed you through the TV screen. The stuff he used to do. The one thing I can compare it to in my life as a football fan, as a sports fan, he was the college version. I didn't see the guy I'm about to compare him to in college. I saw him in the NFL, though. He was in college what Barry Sanders was in the NFL. You just couldn't grab the guy. He would just make other great world-class athletes look like imbeciles running in cement shoes. I mean, it was just uncanny. He would literally jump over people. He would spin away. He would run away. He would juke someone out of their shoes. I mean, he was absolutely insane. Just incredible. So, well deserved. But if I'm him, I'm mad as hell at these people. They can go kick rocks as far as I'm concerned. But,
I'm glad to see you all fired up this morning.
Well, I am.
I think things just get better when you're fired up.
Hey,
I like it, and I don't disagree with you in the least.
It's like the NCAA, other than the U.S. federal government, is the sleaziest organization in this country. They are the definition of slime balls. Everything they do is sleazy. They just get rid of them. They don't really, and that's the other thing. Much like the government, they don't really serve much of a purpose, except for their own. At least the government delivers my mail. These guys don't even do that. What are they good for, man?
Do you really want the NCAA delivering your mail?
No, absolutely not. No, I don't want them doing anything. Truthfully, if I could hire UPS to deliver my mail, I would prefer that to the post office too, but that's a different story. I just don't have that choice. But all joking aside, Reggie Bush doesn't need the NCAA. He had a good but not spectacular NFL career, mostly because he played a lot of his career for the Lions. Now he played some for the Saints, and he helped them be very competitive. I don't know Was he on the Super Bowl winning team?
No.
He wasn't, right? I didn't think so. He was on a bunch of teams that got close, but he wasn't there to win the Super Bowl, right? But he had a very good NFL career. Not the career myself and others were expecting, but still a very good career. And
I think a lot of that was circumstance. I really do.
I do too. He's the most naturally talented running back I've seen since Barry Sanders in terms of plays in the open field and making people miss. I mean, the guy was just otherworldly electrifying. He's one of those guys that like will be on a top 5 list of most elusive running backs like for a lot of decades.
Ding, 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 ding. Okay.
There we go. I mean, think about it. I mean, when you start putting those people together, I mean, you don't go very far. I mean, if you count college, obviously he didn't do it in the NFL, but he absolutely showed the ability in college. So that's just and I usually don't really count college performance because once you go to the NFL, it doesn't matter anymore. But what he did in college was just so memorable. It's like seared into my mind that it's hard not to. So when I saw this guy not in the College Football Hall of Fame already, I was like, gee, why not? And why now? Oh, because he just called them on their stuff. So they're trying to ease things over. Please. All right. You know what? I'll come to your Hall of Fame induction. Bring the Heisman with you. I'll pick it up that day. How about that?
Yeah.
There's my terms. There's my terms. Give me my trophy back.
Yeah, most of that time was spent with the Lions, although a lot of it was with the Saints. He also played briefly for the 49ers and ended his career here in Buffalo.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I forgot he played for Buffalo at the end. What year was that? 2015 or something? 14?
That was a why can I not find that now? Here we go.
It doesn't matter.
Dolphins, 2016.
16, okay. There you go. Yeah, so I mean this guy was he was awesome. So there's our
he was inducted into the Saints Hall of Fame 3 years ago.
I didn't know that.
Before he even that's nuts. Before he even got this induction, it was ridiculous.
Well, there you go. All right, so that's the opening rant today. We got a lot of other stuff to get to today, including a little local stuff. I'm going to actually mention that now. Orange County Community College, directly down the road from me. I mean, I could get there in 3 minutes, 4 minutes by car. They are ranked number 2 in the whole country for junior colleges right now in basketball. They are absolutely killing people. And I intend to go check out my first game. I don't know a lot about them. I follow them a little bit on social media. Their coach posts a lot of different things, Tom Ricard. And they're beating people like drums. I mean, I'm seeing scores like, 120 to 75 and things like that. Like they're killing people. And they're beating other really ranked teams too. Like, so they're really, really awesome. So that's pretty cool. Typically community college basketball is not a huge community draw, paradoxically. And I don't know exactly what type of crowd these guys are getting. Like I said, I haven't been to a game yet, but I intend to change that real soon and report back. But they really are like just destroying people. They were really good last year too. They were ranked high last year, but they never made it this high. This is actually the highest rank in their program's history.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, second in the country. Pretty amazing stuff. So
I like that.
Let's see if I can find some statistics on them, because they were, like I said, they were killing people. They're really just beating people out of the gym. There we go. Here it is right here. But yeah, so there's that, and we got a lot to talk about today. We got the question of the day. We got news you can use. We got the top 5. A lot of NBA. We got a little bit of news in baseball. A lot of people are saying the Correa thing might finally get done. Steve Phillips, Carlos Baega, Jim Duquette are names that have put it in the about to happen camp. So we'll see.
Needs to happen.
Yeah, it really does.
Let it happen.
Yep, I agree. So the Ox squad here, they're called the Colts, the Orange County Community College OC for short. Colts are averaging 98 points per game.
Wow.
And they're shooting 53% from the field as a team. So there you have it.
Oh, you got to go see these guys play.
Yeah, that's my plan. Taking a look at the upcoming schedule in case someone else is interested in doing the same thing. Yeah, Toby's interested. Let's see. We got coming up in where are we? We're in December, January. There we go. Next game on the schedule is actually Thursday. They're playing Bronx Community College at 7 p.m. So their last game, they won 93-70. The game before that, they won relatively close, 73-63. Game before that, they beat someone by 40, 106-66. Yeah, they're beating teams pretty convincingly. So yeah, 7 o'clock p.m. tip-off time against the Bronx Community College, I assume. Pretty exciting stuff.
And there's no reason not to go to see that. That's one of my issues, and I scouted a lot of college basketball, but one of my issues always was the pace of play could be deceiving and could be very jagged at times. And you had some games that just weren't as interesting to watch. Where the NBA, there are different paces of play, but they're all going to get you 100 plus a night.
Yes.
And in college, that's seldom the case. So, yeah, if you have an opportunity to have some fun and take some of this in, yeah, I would.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the intent. It's exactly what I'm going to do. So there you have it. What else we got going on today, Rich?
Oh, a whole bunch of stuff. There was a championship game in college football.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Georgia. Congratulations.
Yeah, that had people riveted for minutes. It was why? Maybe expanding this thing might be a little better. Having more than 4 teams, because I can't see this being a boom for ratings or anything. Yeah, unless you're a serious fan or a grad of either of the schools, you're not staying with that for that long. And it wasn't even a contest.
No, although it's football, so it probably did great numbers.
Oh, I'm sure it did.
That's how football works.
None of them were mine. And I assume yours either.
Yeah, no, college sports aren't my jam really, but I'm assuming that all of the South, a good chunk of the Midwest, and probably a good chunk of like the breadbasket region of the country all watched this game, because college sports in those regions of the country is their pro sports, really.
King, yeah.
Yeah, so.
And Texas, of course.
Right, well, Texas, right.
Because they had a Texas school.
So we'll see, TCU. So we'll see what the numbers show. I don't know if we'll get those today or tomorrow, but we'll take a look at those out of curiosity.
Most likely tomorrow. Yeah.
But that's
but all the people saying, "Oh man, I am so glad Alabama was sick of them. They're finally out." Yeah, maybe they should have been in.
Yeah, it probably would have been a better game.
Yeah.
I mean, TCU, from what I saw of it, was just manhandled, athletically speaking. And Georgia, two years in a row, national champions. That's pretty rarefied air to do that. So congratulations to them. That's pretty cool. So we got that. We got the question of the day coming up actually after this upcoming break. Then we're going to dive into some NBA. A lot to get to. back
A
after
lot
this.
of good NBA stuff. Some interesting games last night.
Yep.
Some good stuff on the docket tonight, too.
Yes. 7 games tonight in the NBA. No locals in action today, though.
No.
Which is surprising. Both teams are off, so we'll see.
And we're making up for it, though, by getting another dose of the Orlando Magic.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait. Yeah. Bonchero's good, but he's not that exciting. One thing that we're going to have to dive into, which team is more likely, and maybe we'll do this in the middle of the hour, what team is more likely to turn their season around? The Golden State Warriors or the Phoenix Suns? Both teams teetering on the brink of irrelevancy. Warriors sitting at exactly 500. They've played one fewer game than Phoenix. Warriors are 20-20. Phoenix is a game under 500, 20-21. So which one of those two contending teams, recent years contending teams, last year's champion, which one is more likely to turn it around and why? So we'll talk about that. But next, we got the question of the day. Let's take our break. We'll come back. We'll do that. And then we'll ask that question with Phoenix and Golden State. Who's turning it around? Which one is more likely to do so? That's coming up. Radio question of the day is next. It's the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave.
Do you own a timeshare? Well, face the facts. You made a mistake. You made a bad purchase. A timeshare is not an investment. It's a money pit that continues forever. If you use your timeshare, that's great. But if you don't and you want to legally get out of your contract, call my friends right now at the Timeshare Exit Hotline. They're an experienced team of lawyers who help good people like you get out of a timeshare contract that they just don't want. Don't throw away your money on maintenance fees. Use it for things you really want. We can help you end your timeshare contract and stop the money drain immediately. If you are ready to move on with your timeshare, call our team right now.
Cancel your timeshare now with a free call. 800-741-9557. 800-741-9557. 800-741-9557. That's 800-741-9557. If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. Ouch! Well, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers. If you administer insulin 3 or more times per day or use an insulin pump, call now and learn how a CGM can help you.
Painless. No more pricking my finger.
No finger pricks.
Convenience. They delivered it free and they took care of all the paperwork.
You can reduce pain right away. Plus, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you spend more time in range. And if you have insurance, you can get a new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. Call now and get free shipping of your new CGM. Plus, we'll bill your insurance for you. 800-826-5884. 800-826-5884. 800-826-5884. That's 800-826-5884.
All righty. It's time for the question of the day. Here we go.
It's time to take the bull out of the pen. I am KO, back in 1 minute with your question of the day.
Duke the Pug will soon turn 20, which is pretty good for a dog breed that averages 11 years. When Duke was 13, he lost a lot of hair, had a hard time getting up for a walk, and his bowel movements were not very moving. We started making his food instead of buying it. We cook up a big batch of rice, chicken, broccoli, carrots, and turmeric, freeze meal-sized batches, and thaw them at mealtime. We also sprinkle Arthrodex on each meal. Arthrodex is a complete blend of plant-derived minerals, vitamins, amino acids, and enzymes formulated to make old dogs young again. And it does. Duke the Pug does have his problems, but he has all his hair, loves daily walks, and has no problems with his movements. Breakfast is at 7, and if it's not there by 7:01, we all hear about it. Make your old dog young again. Pick up Arthrodex at nutrientstogo.com. And while you're at it, make yourself young again with a Healthy Body Start Pack. nutrientstogo.com.
People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, or PETA, has asked Major League Baseball to ban the use of the term bullpen due to its insensitivity to livestock, namely bulls. PETA's proposal reads in part, baseball bullpens devalue talented players and mock the misery of sensitive animals. Strike out the word bullpen, which refers to the holding area where terrified bulls are kept before slaughter. PETA recommends the league replace the term bullpen with arm barn. Question: which term do you think MLB should use? Arm barn or bullpen?
This is one of those.
Barn
This
comfortably.
this is one of those that no matter what MLB uses itself, I will forever say bullpen.
As will most people.
I don't
think.
care. I still call them the Redskins, or I affectionately call them the Commies. I'm not calling them anything else. And I will always call the Indians the Indians. I will not use their other name. And if they change this to arm barn or anything else besides bullpen, I'm calling it bullpen. And PETA, I'll give you my phone number. You can call me and try to see how much I care. Watch this. PETA, stick your nose out of this. You're the same morons that changed the WWF 100 years ago to the WWE because of the World Wildlife Federation. Go away. There's not one person that works for you that has ever played a sport. Please. Bunch of whiny PETAs. My God.
You're calling them bread.
Yes,
Okay.
they are bread. God, my goodness.
As soon as she said that in the opening before the spots in there, I knew what the question.
Yeah, I did. I kind of thought so too.
And come on, why?
I mean, like, stop fixing things that aren't broken. We got so many real problems. Let's fix some of them. Like, for example, hey, PETA, you know what goes good on you? Eggs. Well, I remember it used to. I don't know anymore because it cost me $9,000 to buy a dozen eggs. Why don't we worry about that? Why don't you talk to your farmers about hatching more eggs humanely or something so we get the prices down on these things? Well, like, we got real problems. Forget the name of the bullpen. Leave it alone. As if the bulls are terrified. Do bulls look scared to you? They come out there and go to kill people. You think they're scared? I think they're pissed. Did you talk to them? Do you know their feelings? Oh, no. Why? Because bulls don't talk. Bunch of garbage.
And we do talk.
That's right. Absolutely.
This is a joke.
Oh, it's a total joke. It's a disaster, in fact.
Have they given up on the Atlanta Braves? No, well, PETA wouldn't care about that, but some group was protesting the tomahawk chop. So we'll file this under things I don't care about because it's not an issue to me. Saying that doesn't hurt any bulls at all.
That's the whole thing. Right.
You're not going to hurt their feelings.
No.
They don't have any. If
That's
they're
right.
pissed, they'll just gore you. That's it.
Right. That's how you know they don't like you. They go to kill you.
Which might be the best way to handle things sometimes.
That's right.
It's ridiculous.
Yes. You're not going to offend the bulls by using the term bullpen. And if it offends you, you need to get your emotional fortitude in order because you're an absolute puss. How about that?
Because baseball uses the term bullpen, and it's what it's always been known as.
Well over 100 years. Like, no exaggeration.
It's not meant to hurt any animal. They're not saying, well, we're going to go down to the bullpen now and watch them slaughter animals. No, it's not the point.
And it can't hurt other animals, to your point. They can't hurt them. They're not capable of being hurt. Like, it's like not by words. Like, they're not gonna do it because they don't care. They don't know.
I know. This is what drives me crazy about this. I've seen real abuse on farms, and especially big corporate farms of animals just getting terribly abused. You have serious things to fight. This is stupid. There are serious issues out there they can take up. This
isn't one of them.
No, it's dumb.
Totally. Completely stupid. Makes no sense at all. Makes no sense. Hey, there you go. What are we gonna do here? We're just gonna have to talk about arm barns. It doesn't even sound like a.
Well, did you hear her the last time she said it when she re-asked the question, how tough it was for her to say?
Yeah, without laughing.
It doesn't flow like bullpen does. Bullpen, arm barn. Doesn't work. Bullpen makes sense. It's what it always has been. It's what it always will be. It's here in the comforts of the Gary Ayd Show.
That's right. That's right. So apologies today. We're having some technical difficulties with the comments. I'm troubleshooting this as we speak, trying to figure out what's going on here with our friends at Restream. So we apologize if you're not seeing any comments popping up. The stream is working. You can watch it on the Cave Talk Radio Facebook page or the YouTube channel as you normally would, but comments are not populating at the moment. So just an FYI for everyone out there, that is a known issue and we're trying to work on it. But in the meantime, let's do some arm barn, toss to the arm barn, call to the arm barn. It's like a, sounds like
no.
Sounds like a pet store.
We have all the supplies for your horses.
That's right. What a mess. All right, so coming.
So how do you think those Indians are going to do this year?
Who's more likely to win, the Indians or the Redskins? How about that? What do you think of that?
Although if we go back to Indians, I will miss saying Guardianas.
Guardianas, there you go. Well, that's not even the real name either, so that's okay.
No.
We make up our own names on this show. Or we just don't change with the times. We just stay with what always worked. There was no reason to change either one of them. And I know some of the former Redskin players, like the old guys, like the Dog Pound and stuff, they're pissed. Like, I'm not a whatever they are now. I'm a Redskin.
They should be.
Of course they should be.
They should be. It's not just because you don't like tradition doesn't mean you have to tear it apart. It's crazy.
No, it's dumb. And we may as well start naming these football teams after a while. These baseball teams, let's start naming them like after like IHOP names it's breakfast. Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity. How about that? Yeah, like it's like,
is that really an IHOP breakfast?
It was at one point. Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity. It was like the name of it. They've since done away with it, but that was the name of it for a long time. They used to run TV campaigns, TV ads around that constantly. So we could start naming our football team something like that. Oh man! All right, well, let's take a break before I get in too much more trouble. I think I've insulted enough people for one segment. I'll be back at it though. Don't worry, we're not going far. We'll be back in a couple minutes. Next up, Phoenix or Golden State. Which team is more likely to turn its season around? That's what we're talking about next. It's the Gary Ayd Show. Back after this here on The Cave.
Do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call. Because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at crazy low prices. They have access to great prices and discounts at over 500 different airlines. Plus 300,000 hotels and rental car companies. Their prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find the best price for you. Call SmartFares today and get ready to see the world with a fat wallet.
800-370-2460. 800-370-2460. 800-370-2460. That's 800-370-2460.
Come on, you watch the news. Be prepared to pay more taxes. Then if you owe back taxes or haven't filed in a few years, get ready. The IRS, the largest collection agency in the world, will be coming after you with the power to collect taxes by any means they want to. Hey, they can freeze your bank account, your passport, even padlock your business. Oh, good times. Look, if the IRS claims you owe them $5,000 or more in back taxes and they're coming after you, don't panic. Call my friends at Get a Tax Lawyer first. Their job is to negotiate with the IRS and save you money. They're experts at it. That's all they do, and you can trust them. In some cases, they have reduced a $50,000 tax bill to less than $1,000. If you owe the IRS $5,000 or more in back taxes, call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-649-8617. 800-649-8617. 800-649-8617. That's 800-649-8617.
Okay, so the Phoenix Suns sit a game under 500 as we are exactly, at least for most teams, some teams not quite exactly yet, but we are more or less at the halfway point of the season. Suns have played exactly half their games, 41. Warriors have played 40. They're the other top team in our topic today, which is which team is more likely to turn its season around. Phoenix is 20-21. Golden State is 20-20. They're playing each other tonight in Golden State. What do you think, Rich? Who's more likely to turn this ship around this year?
I think the Warriors are. I'm not going to go against the defending champions. Right now, some of the issues they're having can be helped with injuries. They're missing
an
an
whole
incredible
roster.
offensive player,
Yeah.
as well as an excellent defensive wing.
Yep.
They're missing pieces that they need,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they will get better. I think they'll figure it out. I'm not going to stick the fork in the defending champions because I don't think they're done. Suns, on the other hand, that's just a mountain of dysfunction.
They look done.
They really do. Now, Booker exacerbates that. You don't lose a guy like that and not feel it. But the Cavs haven't had Garland, and hey, guess what? They're doing okay. Do they need him back for full success? Yeah, but they're doing okay. Suns are falling apart without Booker.
Oh, they really are.
Chris Paul's starting to show some troubling signs, not on the court. And there's some people there that aren't happy with him, which is nothing new for him. But if you're not playing at the level he used to play at, those things are more magnified. They have issues between a coach. I'm sorry.
No. Continue.
They have issues between a coach who is like, from everyone I've ever talked to that knows him, is one of the most decent human beings you'll ever meet, and a center who just doesn't give a damn. He will every once in a while and show, well, hey, this is why he's making that buck.
Yep.
But I just think they're a mess. They've allowed this Jay Crowder thing to fester for a while.
Yeah, that was a bad mistake. I mean,
it was.
He's just a role player. Move the guy on and just get him out of there. Let's just go. Why are we holding out for maximum value on a 34-year-old role player? Like, what are we doing?
And a guy who didn't feel he needed to compete for a job. Yes, you do. You're a role player. Right. You compete for a job every year.
That's right.
And I just think they're a mess. And you got the ownership thing going on and the prospective sale, which is yet to go through. And there's enough legal tangles in there that'll take a little bit. which shouldn't affect the players at all. I mean, as long as you're still getting paid.
Right.
But some of them take these things to heart and they get themselves involved. And the more things you're involved in, the less you're involved in trying to fix the problems on and off the court. And I think the Warriors have flaws in their game, even healthy.
Well, yeah. I mean, the one thing about them that really concerns me this year, talking about the Golden State Warriors now, their defense is horrible. See,
it is.
And I'm talking in terms of 2023 defense. Like, see, this is what a lot of people don't understand. A lot of longtime NBA fans or guys who were NBA fans decades ago that now like to sit back and bash the modern league and say no one plays defense. Well, you know what? It's bloody hard to guard these guys. Everyone plays 100 miles an hour. Everyone can shoot. Spacing is elite every night. And you can't hand check. Yeah, you guard some of these dudes with those rules. It's not that they're not trying to. It's hard.
That's why you see the defensive numbers.
Well, that's it. It's not because they just don't care and they're just letting them score. These guys are great, and the rules and the style of play is conducive to the offense winning the matchup more times than not. It just is. And
there's so much offensive talent that you cannot help but have guys win those matchups.
That's right.
The athleticism in today's game, there's never been anything like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's really the space and the rules not allowing for certain types of physicality. But what's interesting and what I like that the NBA does this, I know some people find this not consistent and they criticize it, but I actually like this. Like during the playoffs, the refs really swallow their whistles pretty hard and you watch a whole different brand of ball. And I like that. I really do.
And the defensive effort does step up.
Well, it does.
Because one, you're not playing back-to-backs.
Right.
And two, you're playing for today.
Right.
That's it.
That's it.
You can't afford the losses.
Right. Exactly.
If you played 40 minutes and you got a back-to-back, where are you going to cut corners?
Right.
On defense.
You have to. And you're not going to bring the same intensity to a Tuesday game against Orlando in February or January as you are to game 3 of a playoff series against Brooklyn.
Right.
You're just not. Like, it's not even human to think you would. Like, even if you mentally think you want to or should, you're not going to.
Right.
Because it's not the same thing.
I don't think players go in with the intention of not playing defense.
No, they definitely don't. It's instinct at a certain point. The guy in front of you has the ball. You don't want to score on you.
Like, sometimes you'll see people like go, oh, okay, go ahead.
Right.
You know, I'll live to fight another day.
Right.
You got a head of steam.
They're out of position, or maybe they got
played 40 minutes last night.
Right. Or they got a few fouls or something.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. But yeah, no, but it's something. I'll tell you what, as far as getting back to the initial question, Phoenix or Golden State, who turns it around? It's hard not to agree. I mean, I think it's a pretty obvious one. Golden State's obviously the better team in general. And I have more confidence in them turning it around. But all that to say, where we got on this little tangent of defense, in the context of 2022-23, Golden State's defense is bad. But see, what I look at now is not so much the numbers of points allowed. I look at that a little bit, but what is your point differential? And if you're, the way I look at it, if you're a team like Golden State that is near the top in the NBA in offense, they're 5th in the NBA in scoring, and they still have a negative point differential, that's bad. You know,
even teams that don't, though, Gary. I mean, Sacramento they're the leading scorer in the league right now.
Yep.
And their point differentials, what? I know Sacramento passed them.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was just saying. They keep volleying back and forth. They're like within half a point of each other or something.
Right. Sacramento, still their differentials like one
Right.
and change.
Well, that's just it. I mean, like the way I look at it, if you're a top 10 offensive team and you have a neutral or negative point differential or somewhere close to it, that's a
Yeah.
sign that you're a really poor defensive team.
Yes.
You look at a team like Phoenix, for example, they're not a poor defensive team. Their offense is below average, but their defense is about average in the league. They give up 111 a game, which is about the league norm right now. I think the league average scoring is like 112.
Yeah.
So
pace of play dictates some of that too.
definitely. Yeah,
and the Warriors also turn it over more.
Yeah, you look at a team like Miami, for example. Sometimes I think they crawl up the court with their pace of play. So their defensive numbers are maybe look better on the page than they are in practice because there's just less possessions.
Right. It's same with the Clippers.
Clippers, yes. Whereas a team like Cleveland is a legitimately good defense.
Yes.
So some of this takes a trained eye and an objective perspective to really ascertain properly. Some of it's like obvious just by looking at a stat sheet. Like the Warriors' defensive problems are obvious. Like I said, when I look at the stat sheet here and they average almost 117 a game scored, which is fifth in the NBA. They average 116.8 to be exact. Then they give up 117.5. That's a bad defense.
Right. Well, and because of injuries, and it took Klay Thompson a while to really get back to being Klay Thompson, which he is, but it has affected him a little defensively.
Mm-hmm.
He's still a pretty good defender, but he's not the elite defender he was. And I think Draymond Green has taken 3 steps back defensively.
Don't tell him that. He's the best defender in NBA history, according to Draymond Green.
Actually, the only person who holds anything on the back end down defensively is Kevon Looney on that team. The only one. And like I said, not having Andrew Wiggins hurts.
Yes.
Because now Green actually has to try to guard someone instead of rotating and doing some things that put him in position to make more plays defensively. So Wiggins has missed a lot.
Yeah, he is. Yes. Yeah, no, I agree. I think Wiggins, Kuminga make big differences to that team defensively. And that's why I'm a little more hopeful in the Warriors turning things around when their health gets better, because there's pieces that when they come back, I expect to help them perform.
Yes, and they have no issues between players and coach. None.
Correct.
The Suns do, and it's not, and I am not saying it's the fault of the coach, because it is.
Yeah, if I were them, I would be looking.
That's a very good coach.
I would be looking to move on from Chris Paul as fast as I could. If I'm Phoenix, You're
going to get dimes on the dollar back, which is the problem.
Yeah.
And is there someone there on that roster now that you feel comfortable saying, okay, it's your team? You want to give that to Cameron Payne? Because I don't.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think the next step in evolution for their best player, for Devin Booker, is to be sort of that offense initiator. I think if he's the great player that he believes he is, and I think he's capable of being, I think that's the next step. I mean, I don't think you can be a truly great player, like a league-leading player, as purely an off-ball scorer.
And to Booker's credit, look what he does when Chris Paul is out.
That's what I mean. So to your
how many games do you see him have 25 and 8 assists?
Well, to your question, that's my answer. Devin Booker's the guy I'm turning it over to. And that's going to be his now full-time role. He's ready for that. It's time to give him.
I think he is. I think he's
to the castle.
I think he's an elite player.
Yeah. Yep. And so that's what I'm doing. So even if I get back, or a spot up shooter or like a rotational big and a late round first pick, like a late round 1 pick for Chris Paul, I'm okay with that if the pieces fit better. Because honestly, I think he's at the point now where, like you said before, He's bringing the team down more than he's helping them. His production on the page still looks okay, but when you really watch the energy he brings to this team, it's not positive anymore.
No, that's what I was just going to say too. Thank you. It is 100% negative energy, and it shows.
Yeah. Yep.
It shows by the way he moves on the court. It shows by every action.
Mm-hmm. You know what?
I mean, this is a guy that wants to get into the politics of this. I'm sorry again.
Yep.
And if you want to do that, take on something with the Players Association and step away.
I know where to send him. Got the perfect spot for him. He'd
Where?
fit right in. You know, Greg Popovich needs someone to be grumpier than him. He needs a little competition for the Chief Grump title. Send him to San Antonio.
Well,
they can be grumpy together.
That's kind of hard because John Tortorella is busy right now, and Bill Belichick taking a little time off.
Yeah,
So,
send Chris Paul to San Antonio. Pop needs a grump companion.
oh, they would kill each other.
That's exactly the point. Do it.
And Pop's a vet. My money's on him. Where do you think, seriously, a good home would be for Paul? Outside of San Antonio?
Oh, man. Oh, that's where I want him.
Man.
You know,
the Riverwalk and all the churros you can eat. Yeah, okay.
That's right. Send him to San Antonio. That's right. Trying to think. A team that's like fringe right now. I think maybe a team like maybe actually Miami. I think you could help them quite a bit. Just a pure level of offensive talent. Kyle Lowry is a shell right now.
Yeah, I think he's aging quickly.
Yeah, and I think
Kyle Lowry.
I think Paul would help them. That's probably the best place I can think of in terms of someplace you can go and have a appreciable, noticeable impact on the court. The other spot, and it's a little bit different because you do have a guy there who's sort of a lead guard, but he'd be better off the ball, I think. That's Toronto. They're kind of falling off quickly. If they're trying to salvage something, Paul might be a quick spark plug to like have them win some games in a row, get back to relevancy. If they're not ready to just totally blow it up yet, it's a stopgap measure, but I think he would have an impact on them pretty rapidly. So those two teams come to mind.
Okay, I don't consider either of them contenders, but
they're not.
Might make both one or both playoff teams if he went.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
Whichever
like,
one he went to.
None of the contender teams, like the top contenders, none of them have a need at that position, right? Like they're all pretty good.
Even some of the young teams that are contending. Indiana's 3 games over 500.
Yeah, they got Halliburton. They don't.
But you heard Halliburton's growth by adding Chris Paul? Not at all.
No, of course not. So that's what I'm saying. Like the teams that I can think of that I think he would fit on and help. I think where he's at now, he would be able to help a team that's like maybe just outside the playoffs become a playoff team, or maybe a team that's just going to make the playoffs, maybe be competitive enough to maybe win a first round series. Like, I think that's where he can move the needle a little bit.
Okay. Put your GM hat on. If you're Toronto, who do you send back to Phoenix?
Well, if I'm Phoenix, I'm asking about one of those wings. I mean, and Toronto has a good number of them, right? So they have a surplus of guys that they could, part with if they chose to.
Because I can't see like trading Pascal Siakam.
No, oh no.
Old Chris Paul.
Oh no.
But do you trade on Anunoby either, who's the best offensively of your wings?
That's the guy I would ask for if I'm Phoenix.
And I wouldn't give him up.
I don't know, because if I'm
really wouldn't.
Because the way I look at this is if I'm Toronto, I'm fading fast. And like, does Chris Paul save me? Maybe not, but he makes me relevant this year. And maybe that gives me the time to like do this proper in the offseason versus hastily now at the trade deadline. Because what you don't want to have happen is just stick with what you got going on right now and just descend into irrelevancy. So
How many years does Paul have left? I don't take him unless he's a rental, to be honest.
Right.
If he has 3 years left on his deal, forget it.
Yeah, I'd have to look at that. But couple guys that come to mind: Joe Wieskamp, and Precious Achua. I know the latter is still hurt, but those two guys are both solid players. Ron Harper Jr. is a reasonably solid young player. If you're not gonna get one of their core guys, these are some of the next level guys. They still have Thaddeus Young batting around. He might fit in Phoenix as a veteran.
And throw in a first-round pick.
A first-round pick, right. Chris Boucher is another one. He might really help them a lot. Because
I'd trade Achua before I'd trade Boucher.
Yeah.
Boucher's a legit NBA shot blocker.
Right. Gary Trent Jr. comes to mind on their roster.
He's good. He really is.
He is.
I
mean, because I don't think you're gonna get 0 for Chris Paul. If the team believes he can help them, he's still a really good player. So I don't think it's all the guys I mentioned. I don't think any of them are unrealistic to ask for.
I could see Wieskamp and Harper in a first.
Yeah, I would see if I was Phoenix. I'll take this from Phoenix's perspective. If I was Phoenix going to approach Toronto about a trade, my starting ask would be Boucher and Wieskamp. No pick. I want a shooter and a guy to kind of do some of the stuff that Ayton doesn't do. Because the reason I'm making this trade is I'm trying to save my season. I'm not in rebuild mode here. I'm more in like retool mode and hand the keys to Devin Booker. So I'm less interested in the draft picks in this situation if I'm Phoenix. So Boucher and Wieskamp would be one ask. If they balk at that, I might go with Precious Achua and either Ron Harper Jr. or Thaddeus Young, and maybe a draft pick, something like that.
Paul is under contract till 2025 at 30+ million, so I don't see the Raptors doing that.
That's a lot of money, yeah.
You're tying up a lot of money in a guy who's not going to help you, I don't think, much past this year.
It's a lot to give up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're stuck with him, I think. It's going to be hard not to be. That's for sure.
I don't see an easy fix. I really don't.
A couple other games tonight to look at. You got Dallas and the Clippers. This has quickly become sort of a rivalry game. These teams just don't like each other, and it's cool. That's easy. It's easily the best game tonight.
I don't even see a home court advantage right now for the Clippers. I really don't. I can't pinpoint what it is because I don't watch them enough, but there's a major disconnect there somewhere. The easiest fix is with Ty Lue, but does that really make them better? I don't think so. And if you want to break up the two stars, which one do you move?
I got a solution for you. You mentioned Ty Lue. I would try that first on one condition. The guy I'm about to mention is A, available, and B, agreeable to the job. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, historically known as defensive players, right? You know, obviously great offensive players too, but known as defensive wings.
Yes.
Who is a available coach, relatively young, with great success as a defensive guy and familiarity with the city rather. Oh yeah, Frank Vogel. How about that? I think Frank Vogel, if there's anyone out there who could make a big difference in this team's overall execution level, I think it's him.
Okay, that's interesting.
If I could get Frank Vogel, I would, move to do that now.
I thought you were going to say the former Celtics coach.
Oh, no, Udoka. No, I was thinking Frank Vogel.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
because of the way Udoka made.
Yeah, he's another good one. The only thing is, Vogel doesn't have that stain hanging over him. And more importantly to me, anyway, he has experience coaching big stars in LA and succeeding at it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
true.
And that's, I think, what I'm attracted to with him. I would go and give him a call and see what he wants to do. And maybe you even started out the way they started out with Ty Lue. You bring in Vogel as basically the defensive coordinator. If you don't want to eat the
Would
contract.
he do that?
I don't know. Well, I don't know, but that would be a conversation, right? Like, because that's what I would try to do. But that would be the guy I'd want to talk to if I was the Clippers right now.
Interesting.
Yep. So there you have it. All right. What do we got for the NHL today? We got a couple minutes before the top of the hour.
Let me take a look here real quick. We had one team play last night. It was the Buffalo Sabres, and they were a no-show. They got beat by the Philadelphia Flyers 4-0 in a game that was as boring comes. Tonight, the Sabres host the Seattle Kraken, and then I'm dressed appropriately for the occasion. See how many people I upset tonight.
Yes. Get them.
Kraken are the most fun team in hockey to watch. They really are. New Jersey is in Carolina, and they've played a little better since the turn of the year. The Rangers are hosting Minnesota tonight, and the Islanders are hosting Dallas in what should be a really good game.
Nice.
But yeah, I am going to upset Sabre fans everywhere with my Kraken garb.
Oh no. He's going into his home arena in opposition
I'm rocking
attire.
the Kraken, baby.
Oh man. Oh man.
Somebody has to do it. And last night's game was just one of the worst I've seen all year. It was a team that looked like they didn't want to be there. And I laughed when the coach in the post-game presser said, well, the effort was there. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. You got shut out and dominated by a middling team. There was no effort there. I don't mind if a team loses. It happens. But just give me effort. That's all I ask.
Yeah. Yeah. Effort is a controllable asset, right? As they say.
Yes. And if they come out and lay an egg like that tonight, Seattle will put 7-8 goals on them. Because they seem to be road warriors on this 5-game road trip they're on. They've won them all, and they've outscored people 28-4. So tonight could get ugly, and I'll be there for it.
Hey, there we go. Getting ugly with it. All right, well, there we go. That's the NHL update. We're going to be right back. Hour 2 around the corner. We got the top 5 in tow. Yeah. We got news you can use. A lot to break down from last night's NBA action and a little news on the Met front as well. So a lot to get to on the second hour of the Gary Ayd Show. Back after this here on The Cave. He's gonna get cracked for wearing the Kraken in Buffalo.
In case you thought I wasn't serious, yeah, I'm doubling down. I'm rocking a jersey.
Oh, I knew you were serious.
I got the hoodie. I got the jersey. I am all set. One of their reverse jerseys.
So this is going to be a rare occurrence. I assume. I guess this could be incorrect, but I assume this will be a rare occurrence where you are wearing and repping the road team, but rooting for the home team.
Yes.
Or are you rooting for the Kraken?
They're my favorite team to watch.
So who are you rooting for to win the game?
Oh, Seattle, baby.
You are?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, man.
I'll tell you what. For a second-year expansion team, I've never seen a team work. They're the hardest working team in the league. They come to play every night. I know they're in a playoff spot right now, and teams turn it up in any sport in the playoffs, and I don't think if they sustain this, I don't know if they have that other gear. But, man, are they fun. Man, are they out-hit people. They out-hustle people. They do everything, despite being outmanned most nights, pure talent-wise. And they have a more than just a winning record.
There you go.
I love watching this team play.
Good stuff.
So, yeah, rocking a jersey tonight.
Rocking the jersey. And you're going to go and eat Buffalo's food.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Well, here we
Now,
go.
if they had some salmon or something tonight, I would have that.
Speaking of seafood, I just took, during the break, I took some ahi tuna out of the freezer. So that's
nice.
That's on the menu tonight.
Nice.
Tricky thing to cook.
It is.
Yeah, I've definitely...
You don't want to rush it.
No. But you also don't want to overcook it.
Right.
Very delicate.
Yes.
You really have to get it right.
But there was, oh, man. It's like going to Maine and eating lobster.
Yes.
Going to Seattle and sitting on a restaurant sitting on Puget Sound and having salmon that was caught like a little while ago. You know?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Is
Long Island's good for that too.
Yeah.
Not necessarily salmon, but other types of fish.
No, the fishing in Long Island. I mean, that's...
Yep.
Still fishing boats dominate those waters.
Oh, yes. Without a doubt. It's good stuff. All right. Well, let's hit the top 5. What do we got today? Come on, Jack. Boom. There he is.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for. It's time for King Talk Radio's Top 5.
All right. What do we got?
I teased it an hour ago.
Uh-oh.
Your top 5 all-time most elusive running backs.
Well, this is one of those, occasionally we have these where there's like a category that is beyond the category. So I almost think in the interest of getting more names on this list, we're just going to put Barry Sanders in his own separate category. That's what I'm going to say.
Okay, that works.
Because he's number 1. I mean, by like a lot. So in the interest of getting one more guy in there, I'm just going to say Barry Sanders is like out here somewhere, and we can talk about the rest. So let's see. Now, obviously, this conversation was brought on by my Reggie Bush discussion.
Yes.
Now, his ranking in this would be predicated on including college, which I'm not going to do because I don't know it well enough to do effectively besides Reggie Bush. So Reggie Bush is a second corollary. We have like a couple of addendums today. He's like, his own special category. He can't make the list because I'm not doing college guys. But if I were, he's like my guy from college. So he's like, think of this like the dream team. He's like my token college guy, Christian Leitner. He's my token college guy in this list because I can't not include him because of what I watched him do in college. So he's like my token college guy. That's why I wanted to make an extra spot so I can do 5 people, from the NFL, because I'm basically going to do Reggie Bush and 5 people from the NFL Barry Sanders is on his own plane. I'll give
So
you.
we're not including Barry in this list.
Yeah, Barry is like above this list.
Okay.
He's like better than all of them. He's my number one by like a lot. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Let's see. A guy that was really elusive, and he wasn't an all-time great back. He was a very good back, played a long time, but God, you just couldn't grab him. Darren Sproles was an absolute pain in the ass. He really was.
He was actually number 2 on my list.
Oh, he was just a pain. He comes to mind. Eric Dickerson definitely comes to mind. Elusive in a different type of way. You just couldn't catch the guy. He was just so fast.
OJ was the same way.
OJ, very much. Yep, OJ is a good one. Different type of elusiveness, but for a bigger back, LaDainian Tomlinson was very hard to corral at times in his career too. Very shifty. Yep. Most of the guys in this list, you think of elusive, you think of smaller guys. Tomlinson was not that, but he was just hard to corral.
He was. That's a great one.
Let's see a couple of others. Dave Meggett for the Giants back in the 80s was very elusive. Of course, he went on to, kill people and stuff, so it's not exactly good, but he still was a good football player.
So did OJ. Allegedly.
Yeah. Difference is one was proven. But anyway, let's see what else we got. Warwick Dunn was very elusive.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yep, he was very elusive. Thinking of some other guys. What about for a little while, man, Christian McCaffrey was tough. He still kind of is.
Yeah, I never considered him elusive, though. I think he would rather take you on.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I'll go way back for you, Mike Garrett.
That is way back.
One of the first of the great USC backs.
That is way back.
Came before OJ, actually. I think it helped that he was like 5'9" behind that massive Kansas City Chiefs line. But when he got through the line, you couldn't get your hands on him.
All right, that's a good one. You want to go really way back. Now I'm going like prehistoric back. Hugh McElhaney. He was like the first elusive back like in NFL history.
He was.
Going to the OG.
Wow.
The real OG.
But there's some guys. Deebo Samuel's not easy to get a hold of and keep in a grasp.
That's very true. It was very elusive too. Remember the running back for you talk about the Niners. Remember Garrison Hurst?
Yes.
He was also shifty in space.
Yes.
He was a good combo too, because he would lower a shoulder also. He was an interesting. I always thought that had he been healthier, I always thought that he would have maybe had a Hall of Fame career. I thought he was a great back.
He was. He was a big back for being so elusive.
Yeah,
he was Eric Dickerson like in that way.
Yes. That's what made him so good. And he's a great actually the Niners of that era, the 90s, had two of the most incredible bounce back stories in like football history with Garrison Hurst with the monumental knee injuries he came back from, and also Bryant Young.
Yes.
Both guys were, to me, Hall of Fame talents. Young, I think, did enough to probably get there at his position. I don't know that Hurst ever did, but he was, from a talent perspective, I thought he had everything it was necessary to make the Hall of Fame. He just, unfortunately, his body didn't let him do it, but the guy was awesome. I was a big fan of Garrison Hurst. Another good one, early in his career, he became sort of a short yardage back later, so people don't remember him this way. But if you go back and look at the first couple of years of his career, Edgerrin James was a pain in the neck to corral.
He was.
He was awesome too. He was so much fun to watch with the crazy hair. Oh, he was so much fun to watch. He had the visor on. He looked like a soulless like machine, like a cyborg, a running back cyborg. Oh, I loved watching him play. He was one of my favorite players in that time. He was so
I'll give
good.
you another throwback, Gale Sayers.
That's a great one. I can't believe I forgot about him.
One
Absolutely.
of the toughest guys to get down.
Absolutely.
Ever.
No question. He has to be near the top of that list.
And then if he got in the open, it was lights out.
Yes. This is a long list. Eesh, how do we narrow this down?
Well, that's why you make the big bucks. You got to rank them.
Got my quarter right here, baby. Actually, I got two of them. And even,
oh man, two.
Oh, wait, there's more. Even a dime. I got a whole 60 cents. I can go to Aldi 2.5 times.
Oh, Barry, what you doing with all them dimes?
I don't know, CP3.
Oh man,
great commercial, by the way.
Yes.
All right, let's put these down. Like I said, Barry Sanders is the top of the list. I think I'm gonna put Gale Sayers at 2. You just couldn't grab the guy. Darren Sproles is another one. I think I'm gonna put him at 3. I'm gonna put OJ Simpson at 4. And I feel like I'm leaving so many guys off no matter what I do here.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
if you wanted to do 6 and put
Barry,
Barry Sanders on his own plane, that works too.
Yeah, he's on his own plane. So I'm gonna go Gale. He is. I mean, you watch like Barry Sanders highlights don't even look real.
No, they're video games.
Like they don't look like real life. Like, no, that really happened. Like
you're watching those highlights, like someone's good at pushing buttons.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Real.
It doesn't even look human. It really doesn't. Let's see. Gale Sayers, I guess, with my Barry on his own plane list. Gale Sayers would top the list. I think Darren Sproles would be second. I mean, he really was just elusive because he was so small. It's so fast and shifty. I think OJ would be 3. Guys like Dave Meggett, Eric Dickerson.
See, I couldn't leave Dave Meggett off my list.
Yeah, I can't either. Warwick Dunn comes to mind for me too. I'm gonna go with Dave Meggett though at 4. So far I have Sayers 1, Barry on his own level, Sayers at 1. I have Sproles at 2. I'm going OJ at 3. I'm going Meggett at 4. And 5 comes down to a few names. Warwick Dunn is a contender. Dickerson is a contender here. I think Hugh McElhaney is definitely a contender. I'm going to go, even though I think maybe Warwick Dunn was slightly shiftier, I feel dirty not putting Eric Dickerson on this list because of how great he was on top of being shifty.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to go with
that.
Dickerson at 5 for me.
All right. I get that. That's good. See, I had Dunn there.
Yeah, and I understand that. He probably, by the definition of the question, he probably is the slightly more elusive of the two.
He just beat out Mercury Morris for me.
There we go. Oh no, Mercury's not undefeated anymore. What are we gonna do now?
On this list, we don't get to hear from him, and that's not a bad thing.
I have to tell you, I know we differ on this, but every year when he comes out with those cigars, I just think it's great. You know what? Good for you for being the pompous old man. You know what? The hell with it. You're 70, whatever. Why not? Absolutely. Like Gretzky's all nice about it. Yeah, I can't wait for him to break my records. It's good for the game. Mercury's like, nah, hell with that. They're my records. That's my kind of guy.
I've softened on it through the years. It really
it's just funny. It's just
But now it's just more like he's gonna come again.
here
When's
we
the last
go.
team lose?
Where we going? All right, there's Mercury at.
Took him a while this year though with the Eagles. He might have been sweating
a little sweat. Yeah, a little sweat. Well,
Yeah.
it's kind of like football's version of like Bobby Bonilla Day. You know it's coming. You want to be
Yeah.
mad about it, but after a while, it's just funny.
It is. And the fact that Morris just takes it to the next extreme.
Well, that's the whole thing that makes it
is
funny.
fantastic.
Yeah, that's the whole thing about it. That's funny is he like so flamboyant and rubbing in the face about it. He's obnoxious to the point of hilarity.
Yeah.
Oh, Mercury Morris, what a character! He's one of those guys. If we ever did a list of people like that we want to sit down and like just spend time with, have a beer with, have lunch with, something like that, he might be like a random name that would be on that list. He just seems like a character.
He does.
Just
does.
seems like someone that you wind him up, get a couple drinks in him, and God knows what would come out.
If you ever read the book that Larry Zonka and Jim Kick wrote called Always on the Run,
Okay, no, I haven't.
it was quite interesting. But actually, Morris, out of the three, would the one I would want to be the one I would want to sit with.
He
because
just seems like a character.
He is that much of a character.
That's awesome. That really is. All right, what else? So that's my list. So we got Sayers. Well, Barry Sanders kind of up above everybody. Then Gale Sayers. Then I put Darren Sproles. I put number 3 was what did I have? Dave Meggett. Number 4 was I had Eric Dickerson. And who's the other guy I had? Eric
No,
Dickerson.
you had
was
Meggett 4.
I did, yeah. I'm missing my third now. I had Sayers, Sproles. Who did I go with at 3? I can't remember.
I didn't write them down either.
Oh man, what is wrong with me? Unbelievable.
It's catching up to you.
I'm telling you, man. Bad news. There was someone at 3. He's probably really good and very elusive. Oh, OJ.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
there we
Meggett
go.
was 4th.
Yeah.
And you had Dickerson 5th.
Yes. That was right. Okay, there we go.
Oh, yeah. OJ was elusive in more ways than one.
Yes, that's right. He never lost that skill. Unbelievable. All right, well, there we have it. That is the top 5. Very fun top 5.
A real quick OJ aside.
Sure, what do you got?
In the 70s, there was a club here. It was one of like the clubs to go to in the city, Mulligan's.
Mm-hmm.
And they had these celebrity bartender nights, and I got to work alongside O.J. Simpson, and he was like really nice. So for an alleged double murderer, he was a nice guy around me. So
hey, there you go. I mean, well, that's the thing, and it's impossible to remember now because, of course, and understandably, O.J. is forever branded as the murderer that got away. But like, prior to that, O.J. Simpson was like a major national television star, extremely charismatic and like universally loved. I mean, it sounds like, heresy to say that now, but that's what it was prior to those murders.
it was funny because he didn't know how to make any drinks. So us bartenders are making all the drinks and OJ's raking in the tips.
Nice.
What he did was divvy up the tips and gave half of it to us and half to charity. So
that's good.
It was very cool. And he was, like I said, great to work with.
Yeah. See, that's the thing that's crazy about these type of things.
But people think I'm terrible when I say that.
No, I mean, like, unfortunately for the world, oftentimes killers are wonderful people who project normality and almost and even gregariousness, and they have this dark side that's completely hidden. That's what makes them dangerous, because they're like, it's one thing if a guy with tats all over his face and like, a blasting hate music and like, walking down the street with like, you could have a stereotype if you want of someone that you would just instinctively, but
Yeah.
most people that do horrible things don't look that way.
And that's why, and people laugh, but that's why when you hear like neighbors interviewed on the news, he was a quiet guy. He was always nice. I mean, that's why they're never suspected, like you said, for being
Right.
killers.
Well, one of my favorite documentaries I've ever watched was it's called The Iceman. And this was about a serial killer, a mob hitman, as a matter of fact, from the 70s and 80s named Richard Kuklinski. And this guy was a monster of a human. The guy was like about 6'5" and about 320. So he looks terrifying. Like he looks like an offensive lineman, right? And so,
Wow.
but what was so incredibly fascinating and, pun intended, chilling about the documentary, the guy sitting with him was some type of world-class clinical psychologist. And the conversation was just so matter of fact. And so Kuklinski was, you would say, charismatic, cordial, and just calm, cool, and collected. And he's talking about how he would just kill people. And he's talking about it like you and I would talk about, how we're gonna go run our errands to the store later today. It was just that benign to him. And when when the guy asked him a question about it, like, how do you feel about killing? Kuklinski's answer was, I don't. He said, I don't care. I don't like it. I don't not like it. I'm good at
It's
it.
my job.
And I make money.
Yeah.
And that's exactly that. And now there was a clinical diagnosis that allowed him to be that indifferent to it, that made him so effective. That, and he had other abilities too that kind of fit into it. But he told a story about how he would go to the like on a Christmas day, he was home putting like toys together for his kids. He had 2 kids and a wife, and he got a call from one of his bosses. He left, went and killed someone, came back and ate dinner. Like, it didn't matter. It's just like, that was it.
That's,
It's like insane.
that's legendary.
Isn't that crazy? It's like, yep.
Oh, wow.
I'll be right there. Go whack some guy. All right. Go home. The turkey's still warm. It's like crazy.
That is. Oh, wow.
It's pretty scary that people like that exist.
It is. I mean, and yeah, there are, like you said, the way they look, there's no giveaways.
Right.
It's not like I remember being a lifelong insomniac and former like late night DJ, getting home in the middle of the night one night, and I turned the TV on, and CBS News used to run these clips of things that they had done, like on 60 Minutes or something.
Yeah.
And one of the Charles Manson interviews was on. And he's sitting there, swastika on his face. He's like, I didn't kill nobody.
Yeah.
Technically, he didn't, but.
Yep. Yeah. Right.
And the one time when they had a few of these interviews through the years, and because, like I said, insomnia. One time I'm watching one, like the third one they had done. He goes, I don't want to go on parole. He goes, I don't want to go up to be released. He goes, I'm too busy. Because I have things to do here. I'm working on my website. I'm like, oh my God.
That's so great. Legend. Total legend.
I know.
Oh, man.
I can't leave. I'm working on my website.
Unbelievable.
Oh, man.
Good stuff. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll do some NBA, take a look at last night, take a look at a few other things coming up over the next couple of days. You know what? Maybe we should do our power rankings. We haven't touched those in about a week, right? Our NBA power rankings. We can do those today. We can do them tomorrow.
Yeah, I thought we normally did them
on Wednesday. Yeah, we'll do that tomorrow. Okay, fine. We'll save that for tomorrow. So we'll take a look at some of the games last night, a couple other things around the league, and then we have news you can use to wrap it up. It's the Gary Ayd Show. Back after this here on The Cave.
Are you like me? You have health insurance, but you don't have dental insurance. Do you need to get to the dentist right away? Maybe you need an implant or some other major service. Well, I found a dental insurance plan that's just right for you. It's called Spirit Dental. Spirit Dental offers a $100 lifetime deductible, a huge network of dentists. And here's the best part. There's no waiting periods. Yeah, that means you can call right now and have real dental insurance for you and your family tomorrow and get that immediate coverage you want. Spirit Dental has plans for just a few dollars a day, up to $5,000 annual maximum, and coverage for implants. Whatever age you are, the dental insurance you need is a free phone call away. Now don't wait, and be sure to ask about Spirit's vision plan. Here's the number: 800-631-9229. 800-631-9229. That's 800-631-9229.
Hey friend, life happens and you need money. What do? You call the special toll-free number we're about to give you. We will send you a link to your phone with details on how you can loan up to $5,000. Couldn't you use $5,000 to pay for your rent, pay grocery bills, get your car repaired, or whatever you need? It's up to you. We don't care. We're just here to lend you the money. And we'll lend people money with good, bad, or no credit at all. Of course, some terms and conditions apply, and you'll see those on the link we're going to send you. So if you need up to $5,000 maybe as soon as the next business day, call this number right now. We will text you a free link with details.
Paid for by Money Mutual. Call 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. That's 800-586-7112.
All righty, we are back. So taking a look at the NBA, good news for the Lakers. Bad news is they lost to the Nuggets last night. No surprise there. Nuggets are the best team in the West, and they played like it, so that's that. But good news for the Lakers. Anthony Davis may be back on the lineup as early as this week. Latest reports. So that's great news.
I heard 2 weeks. That's better than.
Yeah, I heard maybe as early as later this week. So,
wow.
Really good news for the Lakers. Especially Laker fans. Other bit of news too is the not the NBA but Major League Baseball. The Phillies acquired a number of bullpen arms. I'll tell you what, the Phillies mean business, man. They're not playing around.
They have to. Look what's in their division.
That division is gonna be crazy.
You got a Mets team that ain't afraid to spend money for a change.
Yes. Love
and
it.
Spend it right.
Yes. So there you have it. Anything else jump out of your mind the last couple nights in the NBA?
Well, yeah, the way Sacramento is playing, and I'm looking forward to their game. It was only the Magic, but geez, they were quick, they were efficient, and they buried Orlando last night.
You know, it's funny. My old co-host was a big Kings guy, and I remember making fun of him all year last year because he was like a year ahead of this. He was calling for them to be good last year, and they weren't. So whenever we talk about the Kings, I always think of him because like he was like on this last year. So he was just a little early, a year early. But yeah, I agree with you on the Kings. They're very, very good. And they are fun to watch.
They are. They really are.
And
Boston, still not right. They lucked out last night beating Chicago when DeMar DeRozan went down. And no idea how long he's going to be out. Or if he's going to miss any appreciable time.
You talk about lucking out. Well, the game went, as far as I'm concerned, right according to script. Milwaukee beating the Knicks last night, despite the Knicks having a huge lead late. Jalen Brunson, a career high 44 points. But like I've been saying, the Bucks find a way because they have a guy who could just close out games, and the Knicks aren't quite there yet. The Knicks were in every way the better team, but Milwaukee wins because Giannis down the stretch, just nothing you can do.
That was my next one. Yeah, Giannis had 18 rebounds last night.
He's a monster.
I mean, he is just so good.
Oh, he's just such a beast.
And Jrue Holiday, again, not a great shooting night, but 9 assists. Played some really good defense. Brook Lopez had a nice game. Bobby Portis in double figures off the bench. Joe Ingles is back,
Yes, that
which helps
them.
his team. He had 17 and 5 assists last night. And Pat Connaughton filling in for Chris Middleton had 11 and 11 rebounds.
Yep.
But no, Randall had a great game. He was a beast. Quickly was really good.
Oh, Quickly was awesome.
Brunson had the game of his life, but they got no other help.
Yep.
And they could have put that game away earlier had someone, Fournier, someone off the bench, step McBride, Grimes starting, if someone steps up. If you leave that opening for Giannis, he's going to take it.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. And even if you don't leave it, he's might just make it.
Right. and like you said, if you look at the stats, they're a middling team.
They are. But they have Giannis.
Numbers wise, but yeah, they have this great player.
Yep.
Yeah, the Nuggets game was no surprise.
No, and
they're just a better team.
They're better, yeah. That's just all there is to it.
And I think the Lakers played as well as they could.
Yep, I agree.
In the situation,
yep, I agree.
Yeah, one I didn't see any of, but oh man, Memphis and San Antonio. That's I think that's a prelude to 2 nights from now, or a night from now, if I'm not mistaken. I think they're playing again.
Here's an
interesting. Yes, they are. Except they're playing at Memphis this time on tomorrow night.
Here's an interesting question for you. Who do you really feel confident in coming out of the West? It's so wide open. Like,
I don't feel confident in anyone coming out of the West.
Me either. That's why I'm asking.
I really don't.
Yeah, I don't either.
I lose it with Memphis with their free throw shooting.
Oh, it's brutal. That's going to cost them dearly in close games in the playoffs. It absolutely will.
I have zero confidence in the Clippers.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking of them really.
Dallas is too up and down. I mean, possibly Denver.
See, even Denver doesn't shoot great from the free throw line, which is really perplexing because they're such an elite shooting team otherwise.
Yeah, I know. They shoot 50 and 40.
Yeah, but they can't make free
throws. And they
throws.
shoot like 75 from the line.
Yeah, which is okay, but it's not great.
Yeah. I really don't. New Orleans? No.
I don't trust them to be healthy.
Right.
And I think even if they were, I think they're a prime team to be out executed in key spots because of their inexperience.
Right. And the fact they don't play together enough.
Right. Golden State's still in the, I guess, sort of the conversation, right?
They have to be still in it. They have to be
right.
because no one else has made that move.
Right.
To say, well, we've completely distanced ourselves from Golden State.
Maybe we could at least do this. I think the teams that you can bat around are Golden State, Memphis, New Orleans, Dallas, and Denver.
Yep.
Is that fair? Am I missing anyone?
Knock New Orleans off my list.
So you don't even think they're even a possibility?
No, not healthy enough, and they haven't played together enough because of injury.
All right, so we're really talking in your list 4 teams, in mine 5. Because I don't think I'm missing anyone. Like I don't think
and Dallas is barely on my list.
I don't think the Clippers are on my list. No. The Lakers aren't on my list. I don't know that I put Phoenix on my list anymore.
No.
Like that's kind of the group. It's not an impressive group, to be really honest. Like the East is so much better than the West this year.
Right. I think, Boston or Milwaukee runs over a Western team.
I think so.
I think Brooklyn would have a decent shot against some of them.
I think Philly could,
as well as Philly.
Yeah. If I was active, and I know Dylan's not with us today, he's some kind of appointment, but he would love to hear this. If I was a GM, the team I would be so active. If I was the GM of the Indiana Pacers right now, I would be so incredibly active trying to improve my roster because I don't think they're that far away.
They're not.
I really think if you got like one or two more pieces, like if you got, say, a Jay Crowder from Phoenix, and then you got, let's say, some type of other scorer, like maybe a guy they've had in the past, like a Malcolm Brogdon type, or someone like that who can create some space and some points, or Jordan Clarkson because he just turned down his extension with Utah. Maybe he wants out. You know, if I get a couple guys like that and I'm Indiana, I'll tell you what, man, that's a decent team.
It is.
And
It is. I really like the way they play.
So Sacramento's not in this conversation. They're not coming out of the West.
Not yet.
They can't guard anybody.
Not yet.
Yeah. They might be on their way, but they probably need a little maturation and maybe a little reinforcement.
Again, Crowder would help them.
He would. Yes, I agree. But yeah, the West is like 4 or 5 teams. And what's weird about it's not so much the number of teams, but it's the fact that of those teams, whether it's 4 or 5, like none are really more favored than the others. They're all sort of like, it's easier to make the argument against all of them than it is to make an argument for any of them.
Oh, I know. I can't be totally sold on Dallas either because they're so inconsistent. And they need another piece.
If I was going to place a bet here, the team I would bet on would be Dallas in the West. And the reason is the same reason we were just talking about with Milwaukee and Giannis a minute ago. Chips down, end of the game, Luka's the dude.
Yeah.
And with all the faults of all these teams, I'm assuming a lot of these games end up being close late. And I just gonna go with the guy who I think can close it out the best on a most consistent basis, and that's Luka to me. So if I was gonna bet on any of these teams, it would be Dallas, only for that reason.
See, I would throw the Warriors in there too, because they have a few guys who can close out.
Yeah. I guess the Warriors are there too.
Memphis has a guy who can do it too.
Yep.
But like I said, they scare me with the 71% free throw shooting.
Yeah, no, that's to me, that's a disqualifier. If I was gonna, let's rank these real quick in order of likelihood, in my estimation. So I'm gonna take the 5 teams, which was Memphis, Golden State, Dallas. We had
Denver and
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Denver and New Orleans. Memphis, New Orleans, Denver, Golden State, Dallas. If I was gonna rank them in order of which I think it's most likely that they represent the West, I would go 1, Dallas, 2, I guess, Golden State.
Yeah, I'm with you so far.
3, Denver. 4, do I want to go New Orleans here, or do I want to go
Memphis? I don't even have New Orleans on my
list.
I
think I have to go New Orleans 4 and Memphis 5. I really think that free throw shooting, to me, that's a absolute death sentence in a playoff series. At some point or another, that's going to cost you 1 or more games in an otherwise tight series. Like, to me, I've seen too much basketball, and that is an absolute guarantee to failure. I mean, when you look back at like one of the most famous playoff series in NBA history, that 0-2 playoff series against the Lakers and Kings, like what cost the Kings the series? Free throw shooting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it just kills you in close series. So for that reason, I have Memphis all the way down my list. And it doesn't really make sense. Like, I guess Ja Morant doesn't shoot great from the free throw line either then. Because, like, why are they
Steven
so low?
Adams is terrible from the line.
Yes, he is.
But he has to be it.
Right.
I don't have his numbers right near me, but Adams is not good from the line. But there's a bunch of teams like that. The Clippers, who are a good shooting team, shoot about 74.5% from the line.
Yep.
There's no excuse for it when you have so many shooters.
Yeah, no, none. Absolutely none.
How does a team with the players they have and John Wall coming off the bench with Powell just not be better?
It's a good question.
And Frank Vogel, I mean, they don't have defensive problems. They're not a bad defensive team. Would he fix it? I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Well, there we go. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll wrap it up with some news you can use. It's the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave.
Do you own a timeshare? Well, face the facts. You made a mistake. You made a bad purchase. A timeshare is not an investment. It's a money pit that continues forever. If you use your timeshare, that's great. But if you don't and you want to legally get out of your contract, call my friends right now at the Timeshare Exit Hotline. They're an experienced team of lawyers who help good people like you get out of a timeshare contract that they just don't want. Don't throw away your money on maintenance fees. Use it for things you really want. We can help you end your timeshare contract and stop the money drain immediately. If you're ready to move on with your timeshare, call our team right now.
Cancel your timeshare now with a free call. 800-741-9557. 800-741-9557. 800-741-9557. That's 800-741-9557. If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. Ouch! Well, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers. If you administer insulin 3 or more times per day, call now and learn how a CGM can help you.
Painless. No more pricking the finger.
No finger pricks.
Convenience. They delivered it free and they took all the paperwork.
You can reduce pain right away. Accurate, easy to use, and helps you spend more time in range. And if you have insurance, you can get a new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. Call now and get free shipping of your new CGM. Plus, we'll bill your insurance for you. 800-826-5884. 800-826-5884. 800-826-5884. That's 800-826-5884.
All righty. What do we got for news you can use today, Rich?
Let's start off with Matty Ice. Matt Ryan says he is not retiring.
Oh, bummer.
He may never play again, but he's not retiring. He said, I'm under contract. Until that changes, you just kind of go to work. He has $12 million fully guaranteed next year. If he's not cut before March 17th, add another 17 million to that. He probably will be cut before then. You know, if he retires, he gets nothing. If he just gets cut, he sits around and gets paid $12 million next year to not play.
Yeah, so there's no reason to retire. I mean, in the business sense. I mean, so that I understand that. When you break it down like that, it makes total sense.
If I'm him, I'm not retiring. Walk away from $12 million. I'm sorry. LeBron James.
Yes.
He is frustrated and he is so trying to deny it.
Yep.
They won 5 out of their last 6, but they're still very injured. Fortunately, the season doesn't end today, so there's still very much a chance for them to get into it. They have to do something at the trade deadline, and LeBron walked it back. His comment he made to Sam Amick a little bit, over the weekend. He walked it back some. He said, I have the utmost respect and calmness because that's the mood I'm in. 5-game winning streak? Okay. And he said, to Sam Amick, he said, Sam, actually my patience isn't waning. You make it sound like I'm frustrated when I'm really not. I told you over and over, my job is focused on the guys in the locker room. My job isn't the roster. That's the reality of our conversation. It's the same guy that said, and he's absolutely right, I don't want to play meaningless basketball anymore. He is frustrated. That's fine. Dude, go with it. Go with it. It's all right. Your thoughts?
I mean, it's understandable to me if LeBron is frustrated. I mean, it is it's sort of almost unavoidable, some of the frustration, because I would think, just thinking of this from a more human perspective, that if I am looking around the league, forget my own team, if I'm just looking around the league for a second, and I'm in my 20th year, and I'm 38 years old, and I'm easily better than like almost all the players in the league still. That alone would almost be frustrating because you almost feel like, yo, come on, guys, I'm almost 40. Why can't you just keep up? Like, and I know that's unrealistic to think that because like there's only one of him, but
Right.
like, you know, that is the mental reality of why great players so seldomly make great coaches. Because it's like, come on, I did it. Like, and I was doing that when I was like 40 years old. What, like, come on, you're 25. Like, come on, get with the program. And it doesn't work that way, of course. But
Right.
like,
Right.
I could see that being at this stage of LeBron's career with what he's doing at this level, at this time. I could see that being in his mind, even though if his logical mind knows that's not logical, that's just going to happen. So I think that's a small part of this. The rest of it's just the losing. And it has to be Davis's injuries. That has to drive him crazy. It has to. A guy like LeBron, who for the most part in his career has been pretty much healthy, and played a very physical style along the way, to have to deal with that, I think has got to drive him crazy. Now, on the other hand, I also think LeBron's attempt at not being so overt with it is sort of new territory for him at this stage of his career because, like I've said, for the years he's been in LA, he's not here for just basketball.
Right.
This was a family decision. So that reason for being there is still very much there. So he's not going to say things and be as aggressive as he might have been in years past to leverage his way out of town because he doesn't want to leave because that's what his family wants right now.
Right.
You know, so he's balancing two parts of him. His family man part where he's doing something for his family, and the natural competitor in him that's like wants to maximize leverage and put pressure on the front office to give them the best chance to win every year because that's how he wants to play. And it's very
Absolutely.
fascinating to watch both sides of LeBron's brain battle each other in public.
It is. And just say it though, dude. You are frustrated. Of course you are. You're a competitor.
Right.
You're an ultimate competitor. He has to be frustrated. And it's okay to show that side. I get that you don't want to dwell on it because you do have a job to do and you have a team to lead. But it's all right. It really is. Damar Hamlin was released from a
Yes.
Cincinnati hospital. He's going to continue his recovery in Buffalo. I mean, 1 week afterwards, and look at how far he's come. He's going to go to Buffalo General Medical Center, which is one of the better ones. They have the Gates Vascular Institute. He's going to be well taken care of. I mean, on Wednesday, he woke up and asked if the Bills won the game. On Friday, his doctor said he was breathing on his own and he was able to get out of bed. On Saturday, they said he was in excellent condition. On Sunday, apparently, he made alarms go off in the hospital
That was
because of the way
hilarious.
he was jumping out of bed during the Bills game. So I think it's great that he's home.
That's awesome. Yeah, it really is. All right, let's get one more before we bounce today.
One more. Kevin Durant, it's looking more like he's out for about a month.
Yep, that's what we said we would probably expect yesterday.
Yeah, with a sprained MCL. And he was out last year. He missed, 21 games. They were 5-16, and in there was an 11-game losing streak. How much does this knock them down?
I mean, I think a lot depends on Kyrie Irving at this point, obviously. And can they get any kind of extra production from elsewhere? Can they get something more from Ben Simmons in the meantime? We'll see. But time will tell. And they're not in action today, so.
Right. Real quick, Thunder at Heat, Mavericks at Clippers is the TNT doubleheader tonight.
That first game's a snoozer.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Second game just might be too.
Yeah. Not the best slate tonight. There could be better. But hey.
But that is the TNT doubleheader.
That's what we got. All right. Well, that does it for us. We will see you guys tomorrow. It's the Gary Ayd Show. You're on the Cave.